Welcome to another podcast of conversations with my little bro, where I sit down with my little bro and have a conversation. That's what we do. The topics of today. I don't really have a topic for today unless you have one. I kind of have one,
Not really.
but unless you have something,
No, just start. Just start.
Cool. So, here at work, Rodrigo,
Right. Your boss.
yeah, he's making an application, right?
Like a phone app?
I thought so, but there's no app for the phone yet. So basically, what you do is called Game of Life.
Is it like app right now?
Yeah, it's gameoflife.nyc.
Oh. You guys can follow along.
Yeah, so you go on gameoflife.nyc, and what happens is that you log in, and then the idea of the Game of Life is like, what if there is a fundamental pattern exploring the intersection of free will and destiny? Right?
Okay.
So, what if there was a code that could show you a way to live? Which I think is kind of cool. Like, it's a cool idea. At least for me, because I think for like a majority part of my life, I lived with not knowing what I wanted to do in my life.
Right.
I didn't know.
Welcome to my life.
I didn't know what my goal was. I didn't know where I was going or what I was supposed to do. I was just doing things. And this morning I actually was thinking about it because when I was in Colombia, there was a moment that I was in school. And when I was in school, the teachers made an assignment on the first day of school where we had to write a letter to our parents. I had to write a letter to my mom and my dad about where I saw myself in 5 years from now, or where I saw myself in 10 years from
Wait,
now.
what year was this?
In Colombia, I was probably like 12 years old.
Oh.
So maybe in 2003.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I was like 5.
Yeah, so I was like 2003, and then that was what the assignment was. And I didn't know what I wanted to write in that assignment. I felt so uncomfortable trying to come up with something, and I even felt more uncomfortable that I knew that whatever I was going to come up with, it wasn't going to be the actual truth. It was going to be something that I made up, but it's not really how I saw myself. I actually didn't know. So that happened actually that day. What happened is that I faked being sick and I faked being sad so they can send me to the psychiatrist.
Oh my god. Jesus.
And I told the teacher that I don't feel good, I feel a little sad, I want to think about some stuff, can I go talk to the psychiatrist? And then they're like, yeah, it's the first day, I guess you could go. And I went to the psychiatrist just to avoid the assignment. And I didn't end up going to the psychiatrist. What I ended up doing is that I ended up walking all around the school. And I didn't go see the psychiatrist. Because if I went, I had to tell the psychiatrist that I was feeling sad, which I wasn't.
Right.
It was just all a lie. So I could get out of picking what I wanted to write in my life. And after like 20 minutes, somebody found me. It's like, oh, you have to go back to class. Because they asked me, what are you doing? Oh, I'm looking for a psychiatrist. Oh, no, she's not in today. So they told me, go back at 9. And then I went back and I figured, well, it's been 20 minutes. They're probably doing something else by now. Nope. They were still writing. And then like I was like, oh, well, I got late. And I got out of doing that assignment. But what ended up happening...
Did you have to do it the next day or something?
No, what ended up happening is that then my dad went to the school because it was like the first week of school. So like a week later or 2 weeks later, there was a parent-teacher conference. And in that parent-teacher conference, they asked the parents to write where they saw their kids in 5 years from now and 10 years from now. And my dad wrote a letter.
Oh, I didn't know that. Didn't you like still have the letter?
What? And so, hold on. And then my dad came, and then the teachers told them, your kids also wrote a letter. So go give your letter to your kids and ask your kids to show you their letter. Right? Which I think is a pretty cool activity.
It's a pretty cool activity.
And then my dad came home, and then he told me, oh, so there was this. And I was like, I'll show you my letter if you show me yours. And I'll be like, yeah, I'll show you. I just have it somewhere. And I just kept lying and lying just to get away from it. And then after a while, my dad just stopped asking. And I never got to see the letter that my dad wrote. And he never told me what it was in it. And I never wrote mine.
Okay.
So all of that story is because I never knew what I wanted to do in life.
Right.
I never knew. And like every time that somebody asked me, I don't know if this is most people or most humans, that they're just like, we'll just do whatever feels right or whatever it is. Or like,
well, kind of.
Like, or nobody told me that I had to do something, or I don't know. I'm not blaming anybody. It's just
yeah, I get it.
It's just kind of what it was. And then the main point when I got to learn about what I wanted to do in life and like got to know myself is after we went through the Thai program. That like self-awareness kicked in. Yeah. And once self-awareness was implemented, then I knew exactly I'm going to be so good at doing this. I'm going to be so good at doing this other thing. I'm going to be so good if I'm in this area. I'm going to be really good if this. And then I started focusing on my strengths, and now I have like a clear path. Like I need to do this every day. It has to be a system. I have to just continue to do it. And like it just, with time, I know that I'll get there. And that's kind of, and now that solved it for me, but it was Thai. Now, going back to the application, this game of life thing tells you that there's a destiny for you. And it's based on a book called The Gene Keys, which is a little bit, I haven't read it, but what I get from it, it seems like it's a little bit about astrology, depending on what day you're born.
I mean, I was trying to sign up, and it literally is one of the required things you have to put is your birth time.
Yeah, correct. So like
I don't fucking know my birth time.
So it has to do with astrology. It's a personality test based on the place you were born, the date you were born, the time you were born, the year you were born. It's a personality test based on
things you can't control.
Correct. So, and then I don't know what the science behind it is, but apparently there's a lot of things that there's a lot of coincidences. I'm not a very big believer on any of that.
Yeah, me neither.
And I think, and I signed up, and most of the stuff that I saw, it feels like as I'm reading, it says like, for example, Jose, you are like a good worker, and like if you just work hard enough, what you should be doing is like have good morals and blah, and then you're like, okay, I can see myself doing right.
Right, like it's very general.
Correct. Like you have to fill in the spaces. So there was a thing here that I was filling in the spaces as to some of the things that it told me. And I think that's the only way to approach this app. Mainly like you have to go in knowing that it's a little bit not entirely true, but if you go open-minded and see like I'm gonna try to match my mentality to what it's trying to tell me,
right?
And based on that, it becomes a game. Right? So it's now the game of life. And it gives you tasks. Today, you're going to have to meet a person and talk about this. If you want to know more about it, go to an event happening at the assemblage. And
it's all an ad.
And like, it's a way for people to come into this place. Right? I mean, now, that's not what I wanted to talk about. It was mostly like
But you didn't know.
I didn't know what I wanted to do in life, and then Rodrigo made this app, and then it kind of gives you a destiny and like things that you can do, and like that kind of pushes you into doing things that are uncomfortable for you. But if you're open minded about it, maybe I think it could help people. As long as they're willing to, like, you have to be 100% embracing it. It's like, what is it? It's like when you go, how do you say? It's like when you go to get your cards, right? Like tarot cards or those cards. It only works if you allow it to work, right? I think even they tell you that. It's like, oh, you're gonna do like a tarot reading. Like, you have to be open-minded and accept it, and you have to come with that mentality already. If you're not gonna go like that, sometimes they won't even let you do it. And it's like, well, I mean,
I guess it's a good thing if you don't have anything else. But it's totally not necessary.
I think the whole thing, I think it's a good idea, but it doesn't have to be specifically about. I think if it's gonna be that, there has to be some research and some specific thing that you can show us to why it works.
Yeah.
It cannot be just magical, right?
Or spiritual. Yeah, that's the problem with all those things. It's like there's never any evidence that any of it is true. It's all like spiritual and yeah. I wonder who comes up with the horoscopes.
I don't know, but like that's the other thing, because some of the things that are like astrology. Like, for me, some of them are so very on point. Like, scarily, like, exactly how I am.
Well, yeah, but it's kind of designed to appeal to a large group of people.
No, like, sometimes it says, like, oh, you're, like, a good speaker, and, like, you, like, are action-oriented, and, like, it tells me things, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Right, but I'm sure there's also other things that are absolutely not you.
For the most part, all of them are me. But then that's the other thing. I'm an Aquarius.
Yeah.
But like, so are you, and my mom and my dad, and my mom and my dad wouldn't fit on, or you wouldn't fit on the Aquarius description that I've seen. So it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, astrology is... It's fun, I guess. It's definitely like a good social tool. Like, you can use it to... Like, Ty does this a lot. He'll be like... You're like a Virgo, right? It's like... He'll just do that because people kind of buy into it. So, I mean, I think it's an okay thing to know. Just don't take it too seriously. It's like fortune cookies.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a social thing. I think it's kind of like a fun gimmick too.
Yeah.
It's a good topic of conversation. It's good to just like talk about it and socialize about it. But I wouldn't live my life
based on it, yeah.
Based on it.
Yeah, me neither.
It's just like a topic of conversation that like it could be used as a game, as a like something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really like astrology. I find it so stupid. But that's just me. I know other people don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to be really into it.
I wanted to get into it because I thought like, oh, this looks cool. I want to see what it is, and then I'm like, oh, some of the things are true, and like, yeah. I'm like, is this true? Like, how does this work? Then like, it turns out it's just made up.
Just kind of made up, yeah. So I want you to take the Jordan Peterson personality test. It's about the big 5 traits. I mean, I have to read the description of it, but it's a really good personality test because it's not like it's not like the Myers-Briggs test where it just tells you what kind of person you are. It just tells you how much of a certain personality trait you have.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, there's like how agreeable or disagreeable you are.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you would lie a little bit more on the disagreeable side. By that it means that like you have no problem disagreeing with people. Like you don't just go with what people say. If you don't agree with something, you'd be like, no, I don't think so. And well, if somebody tells me something, I'll at least I'll be like, I could see your view, like, and then just kind of move on, even if I don't think they're correct or something like that. And it's also like makes it hard for me to confront people, but it makes it really easy for me to get along with people. And well, you will have to, you will probably struggle a little bit more with getting to know people or like being friendly towards people because if you don't agree with them on something, you're not just gonna go with it. So it's just like traits like that. And there's like 5 big ones. It's like conscientiousness, openness, agreeableness, and I forgot what the other 2 are.
Conscientious.
Yeah, that's a good test because it's also like very, very well scientifically backed.
Cool. How long does it take?
It's actually not that long. It's like 10 minutes. It's like the Strength Finder test.
Okay, the Strength Finder is like 30 minutes.
Well, it's shorter than that one.
So, other thing that I wanted to, I don't know, just something that I just thought about it right now. It's like, Brock.
Yeah, you were.
Brock, no, it's at Verizon.
You were boss.
Yeah. He is like being really active on social media. And it's not him, he just hired somebody to do it, which is these 2 people, which I'm like, I know he's not doing it, right? But he's just telling people to do it for him, which I think is pretty smart.
Yeah, that's what Gary Vee does.
I'm not saying, I'm not bashing it, I think it's like, oh, it's just what he's doing, that's it.
Yeah, I know.
And he's doing like podcasts and like videos and like Instagram live. And I like it because I like seeing what he talks about. Sometimes he's a little bit eccentric, but I don't mind that. And what ends up happening is that, for example, I want you to take a look at this picture of how they are planning their social media. This is how they're planning their social media.
Oh my god, this is so messy. Insights. Hashtag. This is not organized. How did you figure this out?
I haven't figured it out.
This is worse than my dad. Just everything says so. Ideas, types of posts, something. I think this is stories, boomerangs, events, highlights. I feel like they just put words on paper. Say things that are from Instagram. Insights. Hashtag. Posts. Stories, ideas.
But like, look at the last one. There's one that says like engagement or KPIs. You know what a KPI is?
Isn't that like a way to measure something?
Yeah, KPI is a key performance indicator.
Yeah, it's like a measurement essentially.
Yeah, how you measure that you're doing a good job, kind of.
So it says saves 50 followers per month, I think that says.
Yeah, something like that. 50 followers per month.
10% engagement rate. I don't know if that's good. I mean, I don't know.
So the thing about it is that, for example, I looked them up. They all have about 1,000 followers each, which is fine. But it says that the posts should be like about customers, videos, rep spotlights. I don't know, something about the 10-second rule and
Yeah, so that's
whatnot.
I don't know what any of it means.
KPIs, like how many times people save their posts. I've never saved anybody's post.
I don't think so either.
I think the idea as to like types of posts is like it should be pretty simple. It's what we're doing. You get a fucking long piece of content, and out of that long piece of content,
Right.
you get a smaller pieces of content and post them.
Yeah. I've saved some posts. Why did I save this? Saved like a Casey post. I mean, it's like okay post. Oh, I saved the one for I got my tattoo.
Yeah.
See, that one makes sense.
I don't know. That's it. Oh, so talking about the whole Johnny Depp stuff.
The vintage.
Yeah, I think if there's anything that I want on like the long video that we post,
Yeah.
would be the Johnny Depp stuff.
Well, yeah, that was the main thing we really.
Yeah, so like probably like have that in the long thing, but like, she sent me
Ah, look at that.
like a T-shirt that I can buy.
Did you buy it?
No, now I want to reply. I don't know what to reply though, cause like now, see, now she's starting to associate me with Johnny Depp,
Which is good. Good shit.
right? Based off of one picture. So I think that's cool. Like, see, I wouldn't have never thought of it, and I think I would have been too vain to think that, oh yeah, I can just be like Johnny Depp, right? I was just like,
You're missing the accessories.
yeah, but so but she's like, she was like, you look just like him, and then she sent me a picture of him, and like, I'm like, this is actually a thing. Like, I know that it's feedback based off of, I think mainly her, but then it's from the other girl that never likes anything that I ever post, and from the famous one.
I think it's not that you look like Johnny Depp. I think you look like Crybaby.
Like Crybaby, I don't look like Johnny Depp. I understand that.
Yeah.
But for example, I did do Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, you did, and that was really good. I think that costume was so good. That one was pretty.
So like, Edward Scissorhands was really good,
Yeah,
and a lot of people told me like, you look just like Edward Scissorhands.
you did, and it was
And then like,
it was the
and then
saddest.
like, this is like 2 or 3 years after I did Crybaby. And then people, oh, you look just like him, even though I know I don't look
I
just
think
like
you
him.
look like him, like from the eyes up. Not so much the chin and the,
Yeah, not my mouth, not my nose.
but it's in the eyes. It's in the eyes.
So, I think I have something there. I have to.
I have some.
I have to now get that momentum
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I have to get a next post, and I have to get the next post, and I have to think of a character.
Yeah. Are you gonna do another Johnny Depp character?
I don't know, any character from like a vintage movie. I was actually even thinking it doesn't have to be a vintage movie. It has to be like one of those movies that are like indie movies. Like, for example, I love Crazy Stupid Love. I think
you
that
wanna do Ryan Gosling's
Yeah.
Stupid Love? You should do La La Land, Crazy. No, La La Land.
La La Land
Ryan.
is another one, but like is
With the emo hair.
the thing is that were you ever you never had a Tumblr,
No, I never got into it.
Yes, the thing
I
about
did have a Tumblr, but I never used it.
yeah, but the thing is like back Tumblr back in like 2010 to 2012
Yeah,
when it was like a thing.
it's golden era.
It was all about vintage movies. Like that Tumblr thing brought back like a lot of old indie movies. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like the old Angelina Jolie and like everybody started loving like Winona Riders.
The section of Tumblr you were part of.
Well, yeah, but it had so much traction.
Well, everything on Tumblr has. Tumblr is like a fan base.
Yeah. Well, then I guess then that's a good point. Made me realize that there's a big fan base
For that kind of.
for that kind of aesthetic,
Yeah.
like the Winona Ryder movies, or like the Natalie Portman from when she was in the
Leo?
Professional,
Leon the Professional.
like that type of thing. Angelina Jolie when she was in Gia and like Girl Interrupted, and like I mean I don't know, even Crazy Stupid Love kind of falls in like a category of like independent movie. Like it's a weird or Clueless.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Clueless is a classic.
So I think it has to be something.
You could do the guy from Cruel Intentions.
Yeah, but I don't think he's that good looking or like that cool of a character.
Yeah, he doesn't have like an aesthetic really.
Yeah, like I don't watch Cruel Intentions because of that guy.
Yeah.
I watch it because Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Yeah, that's true. It's Buffy.
So I think I should really start thinking about which character and like figure it out and like see how I can put like a dress up together and take a picture and go out in New York and like take a picture similar.
Yeah.
And I have a photographer for that.
My dad. Yeah, he'll do it gladly. You wanna take photos with me? Let's go. 'Cause nobody wants to ever take photos with my dad.
We can finish the podcast there.
Alright.
Hey, cool.